Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to another episode of the Tuesday Show. Kate normally breaks in, but she's not going to do it here because I have something to say. Occasionally, an episode of this show, NXT on the USA Network, produced by the World Wrestling Entertainment Corporation, will be so dumb that it will make me question the existence of God, because surely if such a God existed, he would have snuffed out all existence in the universe just to eradicate this, just to make sure. I obviously made a huge mistake. I don't know how far back I'm going to have to do what I'm going to do to course correct. Let's just end all of this and start over again from a single-celled organism. You know what? Let's go further back than that. Let's do the Big Bang over again. Obviously, this is not what we wanted. That's sometimes things that are so dumb will happen on this show that I will think that it is proof that we are alone in the universe. Anyway, Kate, do your thing.
It's the NXT post show for February 13th. Get in your super chats. Get in your humper chats. We got fruit puns today because we had a lot of banana flavoring related to candy talk yesterday behind the paywall. We had like a 2.5 hour show last night. A lot of it had to do with candy and ZSJ versus Danielson and styles of wrestling and all sorts of things,
right?
As well as a terrifying mascot. So we have fun behind the paywall, but we have fun right here too. And we'll ask you to get in a thumbs up on this video. It helps people find us in the algorithm. And subscribe to Fightful Select, where OMG, this was double taping. So we had all the scoops in the freaking world on Fightful Select, thanks to Corey Brennan, who is doing a wonderful job for us on so many fronts, but particularly with NXT coverage. Some spoilies there, and even if you're not a big spoily person, same thing is done like Sean does, where it's like, here's the lineup, ... All the spoilers are below, so if you don't want them, don't read them. Here they are. So, subscribe to Fightful Select. We're so close to 12,000. Like, so close. We're like 14 away or something. And it would just... Not having round numbers makes me itchy if they're not 69. So we need to either get to 12,000 or 12,069. And honestly, like, if you want to be hot, you should subscribe to Fightful Select.
Oh, yeah?
Right. Isn't that like sex sells or whatever?
Is that how they do that?
I think I nailed it.
Yeah.
Look, if Temu is out here spending $7 million during the Super Bowl telling you to shop like a billionaire, I'm asking you to shop like a $5 a month millionaire.
Yeah.
And that's all I think you should do is go over to FightfulSelect.com and subscribe.
I'm just going to drop into the replies of every major tweet that has millions of impressions on it. I'm just going to drop in to the comments and just do the link in bio thing, but in my bio just say FightfulSelect.com.
I'm doing that.
Just see if that drives some more traffic. Does it?
Alex,
does
it's
it
not
work?
Even
when you put the link in bio? Does it work?
Does it work? It's not even millions of impressions ones. My unhinged New Japan tweets this weekend. Every single I was like, I'm crying about Okada, and it was like expletive in bio, blah. I was like, not now. I'm crying about Will Ospreay right now.
Listen, I'm doing it on the one that's got millions of impressions, Kate, because I want to drive the most traffic.
And you're not a bot. I get it. Alex, I assumed with this episode we're going to be round the bend. Like, some episodes, and honestly, they make for some of the best episodes of this show. Like, it's not that I'm angry. It's just that I'm disappointed. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That means so much when we get told that we're the reason people subscribe to Fightful Select, because that's mostly a scoops game. Let's be honest. I don't have an ego about this, but it means a lot. Thank you.
Right.
That makes me so happy because we have a lot of fun doing it. Yeah. I had a lot of fun laughing at certain things of the show. And I know you're the host, but like what amazed me was that the show, it oftentimes doesn't make sense, but I don't know if it's ever not made sense so fast. Like within 90 seconds, we
I
got
didn't even think
the
it was that.
baby faces. Yeah, probably. I mean, like within the first minute of the show, like
Yeah.
we got the baby faces sneak attacking the heels and also yelling sneak attack, which really kind of lets the air out of the balloon of the sneak part.
It does. It does.
Why are the children the smartest people in this segment? They are kids. I get that's like the creative thing, but this is not a show on the Disney Channel from 2004. This is a pro wrestling show that we get paid to review. And so now I'm... Sneak attack! Why are you yelling sneak attack? If you were in the military and you were like, I need to sneak up on the enemy, I don't think you go, sneak attack, you know?
Right. Right.
But I felt like it was record setting for how quick it got to not making sense and that the baby faces were attacking the heels backstage. Yeah. Listening to the, what are they, 7 maybe? 6 years old?
Yeah, something like that.
To get a jump on people who beat them anyway.
Yeah. So Matthew Hooks says, SGS, on the way to the hospital, I am an uncle. Yay! Uncle Matthew Hooks, Uncle Hooks.
Well, guess whose ad read we're doing tonight then? It's going to be a very celebratory day.
That's good. That's good. Then Paul Elizabeth says, Dad, everything sucks unless you're Uncle Matthew. So
that's nice. True. That's true. Nice. Not everything sucks today because the miracle of life or whatever. But when it comes to wrestling creative,
listen, guys, you're gonna have to do a lot to beat this. It wasn't even super chatted, but it's the winner. Unless somebody can beat it, it's the winner. Did I lose it? Where'd it go? Where's the winner? Where did it go? Here it is. Queen Avocado. You're gonna have to do a lot to beat Queen Avocado.
I also saw Tyler Date, which is very good. Just the use
Tyler
of
Date
is really good.
The fact that you can do it a perfect, like it rhymes. It's got the same major consonant sound at the end. The D and the T are close enough, and it starts with the same vowel. All of that together. It's so clever because then you can just switch the O to the A at the end. Like it's literally a perfect pun. Louisville, that might be my favorite one we've ever gotten because of how perfect it is. Anyway,
I don't know. I mean, nobody's ready for a kielbasa. Will always live in my heart.
That's really good. Nobody's ready for kielbasa. It's really, really great. And listen, Bam Bam Bungalow, man. Bam Bam Bungalow is it for me.
And Zillow Nightingale.
Yeah, no, we've had a lot. But Queen Avocado
had a lot of. We've got a Hall of Fame.
Really,
Queen Avocado.
Really good. No, that's first ballot Hall of Fame is Queen Avocado.
Yeah, oh for sure.
So
unanimous too. Like not
here's
even.
Here's what's not first ballot Hall of Fame. Von Wagner.
So being mean every week. I do.
No. I'm talking about the booking. Kate.
Agreed.
I'm talking about the booking here.
Agreed.
Because here's how the whole thing starts. Honestly, I thought was very cute and clever. It's Noam Dar laying out on a massage table face up with cucumber slices over his eyes and his action figure sitting right next to his head with one cucumber slice on the whole face.
Alex, I love him so much.
No, that was fantastic. Loved it. And Aura Mensah working with the little stretchy bands, getting a pump in before their match. My key thing here, minding their own freaking business. Just talking to each other about how once we beat Von Wagner and Robert Stone, we'll be rid of them and be able to move on with our lives.
Can't emphasize enough that they're supposed to be the heels in this.
Yes. And Von Wagner and Robert Stone peek their heads into the room through the door in the back, one at the top and one below it, like they're the two stooges. And they look in there, they look at each other, and they come in and they go, sneak attack, and just start beating up two guys who are defenseless, not realizing what's happening. And I was like, what's the because you got to remember that WWE in particular wants us to remember all of the horrible things that the heels did to the baby faces weeks ago that justify the heels doing underhanded stuff to the faces, because turnabout is fair play and always has been. But in this case, it wasn't like they tied him up and beat him with reeds or something. It's like they were kind of mean to Robert Stone's kids who were sitting in the front row. Like, don't bring your friggin' kids to the friggin' show. Like, they're heels, they're gonna mouth off to people in the front row.
They weren't even.
And that was it. So it's fully justified for them to come in and start beating them up, throw them into the walls, smash them, throw them down the hall, take them into the ring, and start the match early. And Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend run in after them, trying to go down there. They go down the hall as well. When they get to the end of the hall, there's the two kids in matching outfits with sunglasses because they're douches. And they go, and where do they go? And one of them points this way, and the other one points that way. And so then the two girls run in different directions. And if you do that, obviously you go to a T at the end of a hallway. Von Wagner and Robert Stone took the two members of Metaphor in one of the two directions. So you wouldn't do both ways. You would point the direction that they didn't take them. If your dad took them this way, then you point that way. If you point, one of you points this way and one of you points that way, it's a great amount of misdirection for this person, but this person can catch up to them very easily. Now that would matter if they were smart enough to realize that. And when next we get down to the ring, both women have gotten there at the exact same time, which is not possible.
I mean, if somebody waited for the other one to catch up, I guess. But this was just such a bad opening segment. Like I was laughing at it because it was record timing to get to something that made no sense on so many levels. And the kids shouldn't be the best actors of the Robert Stone Von Wagner situation, but they were. They were actually really good. Their timing was excellent. They had like the facial expressions on their face that were perfect for this. I was like, good job, the kids in this. I don't like it. I don't mind it as much in match, the like eye for an eye thing as a baby face, but I didn't even like that. I always go back to MJF and Jon Moxley with that whole paradigm shift thing in their match. I really liked a lot of that match. Right. But I really didn't like that Jon Moxley, who was the face at the time, was like so sneaky to use the thing that wasn't stipulated in the contract. Right. Like that was not something that I liked that faces do. But it bothers me less in match because you're actually trying to win a match. Baby faces just acting like heels, like just
right,
just attacking people backstage that didn't really do anything to you except are like funny, snarky, and also smaller than you. Like you don't have, there's no size advantage. Like this was just so unnecessary. I guess you could make the argument that one of them is a manager and not a wrestler, but you asked for this. So
they did a lot of showing Mr. Stone, Robbie E, doing wrestling again. And I'm wondering if this is the beginning of a Von Wagner and Mr. Stone full-on tag team as opposed to a manager and client, because I mean when he was Robbie E in Impact, he wrestled a lot. Like he wrestled, so he came in and was immediately a manager, and I was like, that's weird to do with Robbie E. I mean, maybe he'll be like a manager who works, but he didn't ever, and it was very odd to me. So he was doing a lot of moves. He was going off the top rope. He was wrestling, fully wrestling.
And in wrestling gear, by the way. Right, yes. Like,
and the match is the match. It is just it's what it is. Until we get down to the end.
Robbie E looked all right considering he hasn't had TV reps in ring in however long. Like I was like, all right. Mm-hmm. The only thing that I had an objection to was there was a spot where he was going to tag Von Wagner and there was not nearly enough damage done to him in retrospect for the sell of him not being able to get to Von Wagner. Like he was just, it was so painfully like, how am I going to get there? And just not enough damage was done to justify it. But the rest of the match was fine. Robbie, you looked really good considering he hasn't had a TV and ring rep in forever. But also the idea that you would need the gals to cheat when Noam Dar beat Von Wagner one-on-one in 2 rounds of the Heritage Cup, but needs to cheat here was weird because he's the one who still got the pin anyway.
Doesn't matter. The winner, like Von Wagner, couldn't get it done one-on-one against in 2 straight falls against Noam Dar. And then they didn't like how mean they were to the kids, so like they challenged him to a tag match, and there was no obligation for Noam Dar and or Mensah to say yes, but they did, and then they had this match, and perhaps they would. I mean, obviously they would have, because this is the kind of heels they are, but we don't know. Perhaps they would have played by the rules had the baby faces not broken the rules first. I thought turnabout was always fair play.
Sure.
So you broke the rules first by beating them up before the match even started. So the girls get on the ring, distract the ref. Mensah runs in and chop blocks Von Wagner while he has Noam Dar up in a powerbomb position. Noam Dar falls down, lands on top of the chest, hooks a leg, pins Von Wagner, and they run away. And we see later both sets of gentlemen are moving on to something else. Then why have this match? Why have this match and have Von Wagner, the wrestler, not Robert Stone, the manager, get pinned in it? Von Wagner, who famously had a feud that lasted months with Bron Breakker over the fact that Bron Breakker attempted to murder him with stairs and then lost the feud. Lost all the matches and lost the feud. And they did that. And now that happened so long ago, Bron Breakker is a babyface again. And now Von Wagner feuds with a man half his size and cannot manage to do any damage to him whatsoever.
At all.
At what point are you trying to Daniel Bryan this guy? Where you think if we just have him lose enough consecutive matches, then the crowd will demand that we put a title on him? What the heck? And honestly, somehow they have sequestered the 300 people in the world who like Von Wagner and are holding them hostage in this warehouse every week because they're going nuts for Von Wagner, when I firmly believe they are the only people in the world who would do so. It is so odd to me.
There's a slight gap in ring ability between Bryan Danielson and Von Wagner. No, being that Bryan Danielson is the best American wrestler to ever do it.
But they ran this thing with him as well. If we just have him lose enough, you'll root for him. And I feel like that's fine for the little guy, but harder to do with the guy who's much bigger than most of his opponents.
And why also he doesn't do anything. We talked about this yesterday a little bit. I am an in-ring story gal to the max. Like, part of what worked with Bryan Danielson is that he's the best wrestler in the world. So he did things that made you want to root for him. I don't want to root for a bunch of shoulder blocks and a big boot guy. That's just not, I'm not inspired enough to get behind this guy losing. I end up rooting for the heels, and I already want to root for Noam Dar because Noam Dar rules. So, and he beat him in 2 rounds of the Heritage Cup clean as a sheet. So when we go back here and not the manager is the one taking the pin, that's already a knock on you because your manager is inherently a better wrestler than you. Then on top of that, you just lost again to the same guy that you lost to. And I thought maybe we were heading in a tag team direction too. And I actually think that would be better because it would allow Von to be a hot tag and come in and get this niche crowd behind him, but like do the big guy stuff. That makes sense to me as a direction to move with him. But we find out later, I think his next opponent is a solo guy, Alex. I think Lexis King is going to be the next one up. So I don't know. This was not for me. I was glad that Noam Dar and or Mensah were the winners here. I'm like glad that they're continuing momentum because I think they need to be kept strong into what they're going into. Well, I'm glad this isn't like a continuing thing, is my point. Listen, like we had 2 matches, let's move on. And what they're heading into next, I'm very excited for.
If you're not going to have Von Wagner pin Ora Mensah and get another shot at the Heritage Cup where he gets a fall at least and loses 2-1 and then have this little deal with Lexis King, if you're not going to do that story, the feuds are the length of them is 1 match and over, or 3 matches and continuing. 2 matches is never a feud, because after 2 matches you can only be like the guy could have lost twice in a row, or it's now 1-1 and you move on and you continue it from there. If you lose the way Vaughn lost, not like I got really close, but you got me via chicanery. No, he just friggin' lost because he's an idiot in 2 straight falls, and he got the feud continued for no reason. Then when we already had seen the catch club, whatever, the catch crew, no quarters. Yeah. No quarters. Like you go to the arcade and you're out of luck. No quarters. And them have already declared they were going after Noam Dar, and he still had more matches. He didn't even
table him.
This was so dumb. So dumb.
I thought they might do 2 matches because it was the solo match and then getting to tag team. I thought this might have been either they look good in defeat and look at each other and are like, hey, maybe we should team together, or they win and are like, holy hell, we should team together. But Robert Stone would have to get the pin in that case.
Right. And that's fine. He can.
Alex, he didn't even table him.
Robert Stone can absolutely get the pin on Ora Mensah, and that can be enough to. If Robert Stone gets the pin on Ora Mensah, then that is enough to like get vengeance on. But get vengeance, and then we're done. And Von Wagner can like carry him on his shoulders. Hey, we got a victory or whatever. Hey, maybe instead of me being your manager, maybe I could be your tag partner. And great, we move on. That you can't do any of that with a loss here. That doesn't make any friggin' sense.
No, it does not make any sense. And he didn't even put him through the table. So even the one thing that everybody like their live loves about him, they didn't even do.
Anyway, so when they get back to their locker room and there's the cup, there's the Techers, they're the no quarters a catch crew, sad day at the arcade, and they're like, we're coming for it, and we're gonna beat you for it because you guys don't deserve it because you're not real technical wrestlers or something. And Noam Dar is like, all right, whatever, you'll see. And then that's about it. And so we're gonna do that, but also Vaughn and Robert are accosted by Lexis King. I'm glad to see he accosts not just females in the back. That at least it's not a sexist thing. No. He accosts everybody. So Lexis King does that and says, "You suck in front of your kids, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go and figure out my next move and blah blah blah." And Robert Stone is furious and fuming. He's got a really awkward length of hair right now. Should definitely keep it in the ponytail. He looks like William Shakespeare. It's a very odd. Hold on. Robert Stone unironically has this haircut. It is not a good look for him. He's got a better hairline.
A little more going up in the front.
I was just gonna say hairline on top, but in the back, this is Robert Stone from the back. Robert Stone rear view looks like this. Okay, so maybe he should keep it in the ponytail. Anyway, he does say like he's gonna punch up Lexus King. And the guy and Robert Stone, and sorry, Von Wagner says, "No, don't do it, Stone. It's not worth it." Like, worth what? Like, are you gonna get? Are you gonna go to jail?
Nothing's on the line.
Nothing happens. No, we saw a brawl later in the night. Nothing happens. What is it worth? What? Dumb.
I did unfortunately want to say, because people were talking about it in the chat, and Corey Brennan of Fightful did confirm that Shotzi and Lyra were underway in their NXT Women's Title match, and it was stopped due to a knee injury for Shotzi Blackheart, which sucks. Serious knee injury is the best language that we have for it right now. But this was a double tape,
so it was
session for next week of NXT. So I don't know what you do for next week, because that was stopped. But that's very unfortunate for Shotzi.
It is unfortunate for Shotzi. For the taping, you could, I don't know if that was planned to be the main event, but you could rejigger things around and make that a match that's not the main event. And then
sure, the fact that it's taped gives you breathing room, but
you could be honest about it. But that sucks. She was going to have
Blair Davenport can have taken her out, and she could just go to the NXT parking lot and suffer fate there. But very unfortunate for Shotzi, because she's
got a match versus Tiffany for the Elimination Chamber that I feel like she was going to lose anyway. That was going to happen on Friday. So
even just getting more TV reps, it just sucks, because she was off TV for a while and was sneaking back on.
Fully sucks. That's terrible.
Everything sucks.
Or Naomi. Yeah, she was going to face Naomi.
Naomi, that's right.
So that's too bad. Now, JB Pringle says, "Amazing Alex, Crafty Kate, Papa Paul, Elizabeth, Louise, and all the SGS. What's the buzz? Did The Rock come after Dr. Van Wagner tonight?" No, he did not. He did not.
Yo, I would pay to see that. Rock, who gets blown up after 3 punches and an elbow drop, versus Von Wagner. I'm in. But it has to be The Rock making no improvements from when he came back. Like, it has to be that version.
Yeah. Sucks. Yeah. Well, Mr. Showtime, it was Shotzi was going to be versus Naomi. They're not going to have Jade beat Naomi, because Naomi's going to be in the chamber. So it would be a different thing for that. So,
correct.
Anyway, and also we talked about this last night. Jade can't be in the chamber because you don't want to pin her in her first big match. You want to keep that important, so that's what we're going to do. Anyway, Kate, I need you now to regale the audience with an impression of Andre Chase's bangs.
Not messy enough.
They got to fully swoop to one side. There you go. That's good. They swoop to one side. But
they made their money back. Why doesn't he have a comb anymore? Did he not buy one since he was broke?
Maybe he liked the look that he had when he didn't have money.
This was a lot. Hello, I'm Andre Chase of Chase University. I have very talented students who never get to wrestle, because even though Duke Hudson should be an absolute star on the show, he has the look and the in-ring ability and is a natural on the mic. Kate from Fightful has compared him to Adam Copeland with how natural of a talker he is. Instead, he's going to carry around an MVP trophy a bunch and just be like a cheerleader in all this. I'm Andre Chase. This is the sign that you went broke, because you can't button your shirt if you're Barry Corbin, who's down on his luck. Or if you're me, you sold off your comb to try and restore integrity to Chase University. And then when we got our money back from those calendar sales, you said, hey, I kind of like my 80s bangs and I'm going to keep them. Wow. Andre Chase, leader of a university.
A university that one of the four walls in the room is a curtain.
Can you university where you're giving blood on the other side of this one wall constantly?
Can you not devote a conference room in your PC that is just made up to look like an actual classroom, as opposed to cobbling together some shit. It's not like you're on the road. It's not like you're on the road. This is where you tape all of your episodes. Devote one room in your building to this is Chase U. Here all the desks are in here, and you make the walls look like it. One of the walls was a friggin' curtain.
Alex, I just want it to be known that I screwed up my hair so bad for the love of the game.
Yes, you did.
And I fear it might be I can never say that word. Irrecoverable.
Irrevocable?
Thank you for the rest of the show.
Irrevocable. There you go. Thank you.
Irrevocable. Thank you. Why can I never say that word? We'll blame it on the dyslexia.
So, all the repo guys are bringing back the stuff to the. Maybe they haven't brought back the walls yet. That's why there's a curtain up. Maybe that's on the other repo truck. It's coming from the repo place. They're bringing them back.
Probably.
Everybody ever had anything repoed? Don't you have to go and get it back yourself? I don't think they just like send it back to you. I feel like you have to go and get it.
You gotta go. You have to go get your walls now too.
Yeah.
What it is.
Anyway, okay. So also he gets his podium back, and Duke gets his MVP trophy back, and Thea Hale says she has a hot date with Miles E. Rylesborn, and and so that's good. And then JC Jane looks behind her at a girl we're supposed to know who this is, even though I don't think she's had a match or been fully introduced to us. At least not in a close-up before, but she and JC Jane are like, and then all of a sudden, Big Ange shows up.
Yeah, she does.
And she's like, and she comes in and says, she comes in obviously with a little envelope full of money. Comes up with JC Jane as a little envelope full of money, and she's like, I won't say what she says because that's not her name. She says, "Hello, Big Ange. How's the Don? Doing well? Big match tonight. For your boys. Listen, JC, I ain't got time for this. What are we doing here?" And she gives her the thing. Hey, this feels a little heavy. Yeah, well, the sales of our sexy co-eds calendar are through the roof. So I tossed in a little extra there, and everyone is looking at JC like, what's going on? So JC borrowed the money to fund the calendars from the mob? ? And now she's paying them back with all the sales of the calendars? ?
I mean, like Kinko's is pretty expensive, or wherever they sent it away to. But if you were gonna borrow money from the mob, would you not just borrow money from the mob to save your university? Cut out the middleman.
Yeah,
go
weird,
back
right?
to the story that we had. It was great.
Yeah.
And that you were so close to being in on Chase U at that moment because it was about the family and there was going to be a mob angle, which we know you love.
So she's paying back the Chase U debt, the original Chase U debt with the calendar money.
What was the calendars? How are they indebted to the?
No, this was misappropriation of government funds. You're not paying back the mob, you're paying back the government. That was the press conference that he said. The government gives funds to universities, and he misappropriated the funds, which means he has to pay them back
to the government.
With interest to the government of these United States, not to the family of this Tony D'Angelo. That's not how this works. You can't just
in fact,
do both things.
I would think you cannot hold a press conference if you owed the mob money. I think that would probably be a very bad idea. If you were like, I owe the mob money, you probably shouldn't go out and publicly be like, hey.
Also, this is very funny. She had to bribe Big Ange to go into the calendar because Big Ange is in the calendar.
She's in the calendar.
Oh, my God.
I'm glad there's a tag team that got out the mud because his ankle is in the mud. Like so in the mud.
So this feels like it's a continuation, like it's keeping going, like she's got to make monthly installments. I don't know.
For just
Louise
70 cents a day, you can get an imaginary university out of debt.
Luis says, why did we get this and not a cringy dating segment with Riley and Thea? Well, because someone up there likes me for a change. That's why.
But Valentine's Day is tomorrow, Alex.
Not listen. Somebody up there likes me for a change, and they gave me Big Ange instead of a horrible. Like my eye would still be twitching after watching Thea Hale and Mousy Rouseborn try to out awkward each other at the Olive Garden. Fuck no, I don't want any of that.
I'm just saying, if Jeremy Lambert heard you say that, he'd be so disappointed in you. Nobody loves love like Jeremy Lambert, and
I'm beginning to think it's ironic when he says it. I'm beginning to think he's not actually all the way truthful.
No, come on. With his honest love of Taylor Swift, he's also on your side with the Banana Run situation, so don't even get me started.
It's true. Okay, so Ridge Holland has a gauntlet match versus Gallus.
No, he doesn't, because this is not how gauntlet matches work.
No. It's I've decided to call it a gauntlet match because it's a gauntlet match versus Gallus, so it's a gauntlet match. And he pins Wolfgang during the commercial break. He pins him during the commercial break. With
I like grit. Almost flipped over my computer.
Uh-huh.
Why? Why are we pinning people during commercial breaks, Alex?
I don't know.
It's a gauntlet match. You've got so many opportunities to get the timing of this not in commercial. Stop. Yeah. I hate it when that happens. When anything of consequence happens in picture-in-picture, I get so mad because I cannot focus on picture-in-picture, and everything in wrestling should be tailored to my desires, needs, and proclivities. Allie, the pun category is fruit.
So he pins Wolfgang in the first of the matches. Now, also, this is something. The referee sucks. I mean, this is the problem with referees, is that they cannot be trusted to not suck. Do your job. Ridge Holland is standing in the middle of the ring, and there are 3 men in the ring.
Correct.
And the reason that Gallus is doing this is to make him not know which of the 3 men he has to start fighting. But as the referee, it is your job to say, 2 of you get out of here. I'm not ringing the bell until 1 of you stays in here and 2 of you get out, because I'm not ringing the bell with all 3 of you in the ring, because it's not a 3-on-1 handicap match. But he rings the bell anyway and allows Wolfgang to get the drop on him because the ref sucks at his job. But it doesn't matter, though, because Ridge Holland pins Wolfgang during the picture-in-picture. And then he's facing Mark Coffey, and he hits a Northern Grit on Mark Coffey, and he's pinning Mark Coffey, but close enough to the ropes that Joe Coffey pulls Ridge Holland out of the ring. Now, this immediately causes a disqualification. Not of this part of the gauntlet match, not of the Mark Coffey match within the 3 matches of the gauntlet. It causes a full disqualification of the whole gauntlet, which is not how gauntlet matches work. Whether or not Gallus is involved, if it's a gauntlet match or a gauntlet match, it's this. You can't. After Joe Coffey pulls Ridge out of the ring and gets Mark disqualified, then Joe Coffey has his part of the gauntlet match versus Ridge. But no, they just throw out the whole thing, which is not how gauntlet matches work. So they decide they're going to bring in a chair and beat the hell out of Ridge Holland with a chair. But Ridge Holland fights back, because what are 3 very large Scottish men to a Ridge Holland? Turns out nothing. So he gets control of the chair, hits Mark Coffey with the chair, hits Wolfgang with the chair, hits Joe Coffey with the chair, and then wails on Joe Coffey with the chair. What the refs, by the way, when it's very funny because Vic Joseph points this out. Oh, of course the refs ran away. You wouldn't want to get involved in this. So when two guys are holding Ridge Holland, and there are 4 or 5 refs around the ring, and Joe Coffey is holding the chair, they won't get in the ring. But when Ridge Holland has the chair and is just actively swinging it, then all of them get in the ring and try and grab the chair away from Ridge Holland. Just be consistent with how you're booking your dumbass refs. So then, Ridge Holland realizes what he's been doing, drops the chair, comes out of his trance, looks at his hands, backs into the corner. What have I become? Now that I've betrayed everything I've ever loved, I've pushed the ball away. No, he literally says, there is in a certain corner of wrestling commentary on the internet, there is a trope that has existed through most of NXT, which is the "why am I so violent" moment. In all the major big matches, going back to Black and Gold, somebody would be like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy is going to make me kill him to beat him. Do I have it in me to murder a man in the ring? And it turns out they always do. They always suck it up and actually try and do it. But there's always a moment where they look at their hands. And usually they're covered in blood. Oh, no. They turned that moment into a full-fledged gimmick. That is what Ridge Holland's gimmick is now. His gimmick is, why am I so violent?
So, I hated the booking for so many reasons. One, because I love gauntlet matches, Alex. As much as I hate, and I do, I quit matches. And as much as I hate lumberjack matches because they make the least amount of sense, I love gauntlet matches because I think it's fun when somebody runs the gauntlet. If they don't run the gauntlet, that's gauntlet blue balls. And I don't appreciate that at all, especially because I don't even have a Blue Chew segue to go to today. Rude. Yeah. Second of all, I get that there are people who will like this because it feels like it's connected to stuff that happened in real life. I'm normally someone that likes that. I don't like it around injury-based stuff. It is the most compelling thing they've had for Ridge Holland, I'll say that. And I feel like he did well with it. I don't like it unless because Big E's actually retired. Right now, it seems like, unless he comes back for Mania, God bless. Mm-hmm. So I get that there's a segment of the audience that likes it, and that's awesome, and this is for them. It is not so much for me, because someone might actually be out of action for the rest of their career from what happened in real life. But I feel like if step one is like, do you like this? And I'm like, no. And the next thing on the flow chart is, how do you think they did with it? I would say he did a good job with what he was given today. This was probably the best he's looked in the ring in a while for real. I just hated the way that the match was laid out, and I don't like the gimmick, but he performed it well. It's just not for me.
They actually have Vic Joseph say in the moment as he's looking at his hands, horrified at what he has done. You gotta think, with all these horrible things that have happened in Ridge Holland's past, this is much harder on him, or something. They're making sure we are tying this into a real life incident.
Yeah,
that may have cost a man his entire career. Yes. Yeah. No, not doing that. And no, people they're burying him. No, they're not.
No,
they would not. They're not burying a guy who 3-on-1 against 3 big dudes, 2 of whom were recently NXT Tag Team Champions, and he easily beats 2 of them. They're not burying him. This is a featured angle. This is turning it. They're doing something. They want to do this. It's not like we're punishing him. They like this. This is their idea. This is a good idea for him, according to them.
The notion is something that I love with everything except for injuries. I love when something happens in real life and they turn it into something on screen. for like 98% of things. So that's why I get it. Like, if this is something that you do like, is because I like it when they do this with everything else except for injuries, especially ones where someone's career might actually be done. So I get it. Like, normally I love the idea of bringing reality in to something on screen, but we actually have Corey Brennan coming in. He got an update about Shotzi. He is your scoopster of NXT. Corey, how are you tonight?
Hi guys, I'm a little bit okay. A bit sad news, obviously, with Shotzi, but it's a really sad injury to have. Obviously, she is supposed to have a big match on Friday as well, possibly qualifying for the Chamber. I've seen a lot of people question if it's a work. It's most definitely not. It's a very serious injury. The match was stopped very, very quickly. It didn't take very long for them to really figure out this was a bad injury. I was told that she went down on a spot that was meant to lead into commercial. She hit her knee on the side of the apron, and she just didn't get back up from that. I'm told that when she came back through the curtain, she was in a lot of pain. She was clearly struggling a lot on the knee. It was also a case of that the minute it happened, it was a lot of concern backstage. They did pick up on it very quickly, and the match was stopped quickly. They did do an angle to cover it very quickly at the tapings as well, which is something that I think will become very clear when it does air next week, to what extent they did have to cover it up very quickly. And from what I've gathered, she was able to limp out with a bit of assistance, so she's not. Well, obviously I can't speculate to how serious the injury is, but a little bit of small bit of good news that she was able to walk out with the help of some others. I'm still trying to find out more on it. It's obviously still very early on it. It only happened less than half an hour ago at this point, so yeah, I'm still trying to find out more at this point.
Well, thank you for letting us know.
Yeah, thank you for the update.
Injuries always suck, and to know that that it was stopped early and that this is not a work, and that she was able to leave a little bit, even if she couldn't put weight on it. She was able to at least lean on people to get out there on her own. So our best to Shotzi. Injuries suck. They're the worst, especially right now and this season. So thank you, Corey, for the update. And thank you for all your scoops on FightfulSelect.com as well. Huge thread over there because we had 2 weeks. You were always doing great things. So nice to have you on, Corey. A lot of people in the chat just finding out that you're Irish now. So that's fun.
Yeah. It doesn't take long. A couple of words out of my mouth and people figure it out. Obviously, I wish it was under better circumstances joining you guys.
Yeah.
But obviously, we will have a free post on Fightful Select later with anything we can get. But just from what I have gathered, it is a serious injury. And I have been told that it was very noticeable very quickly that she is seriously injured. And I do want to say that this obviously with recent times with the Dragunov worked injury with Ridge, that a lot of people are questioning if it is a work or if not, but it is absolutely a legitimate injury, and hopefully it's not as serious as it does seem, but at this point in time it does not look the best for Shotzi.
Unfortunate news, but thank you for coming on with an update and letting us know and giving us some more clarity. As Corey said, you can check out the free tier of FightfulSelect.com for more information. Injury news generally goes there. Anything to do with the Vince scandal that isn't supplementary details or additional information, anything that is like bare bones need to know about the Vince scandal also goes there. There's some stuff that just feels icky to paywall, so we do not paywall it on Fightful Select. But Corey, thank you so much. And if there's happier news to pop up within the future, we'll invite Corey back for that. Yeah, we'll have him on for some better circumstances, but we appreciate the clarity and our best to Shotzi.
See you guys. See you guys.
Corey. Well, some bummer news there, but we do appreciate that Corey got some clarity on that rather quickly. Stay tuned to Fightful Select for more on that free tier, but also just like subscribe to Fightful Select for happier stuff.
For the hell of it,
yeah.
Backstage, and I'm surprised, frankly, that Luis does not have this bolded, highlighted, like if there's a glitter effect that he could do in the rundown, he does not have here.
That is Luca, on the show tonight?
That Luca Crucifino interacted with Tony D'Angelo, which is something that he has been championing for months and months and months and months. But he's just sitting there talking to him, and he's like, you're the Don. People can't disrespect you like this, and blah, 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 just this thing. And he's like, hey, what's your name? And I was like, you had this whole heart, because it feels like you've been talking to him when they push in, and what he is saying, it feels like he's been talking to Tony D for at least 5 straight minutes. And Tony D is thoughtfully considering all of the things this man has said. And then he goes, yeah. So what's your name? Like, the idea, he has no idea who this guy is. A coworker of his for over a year has no idea who Luca Crucifino is. I love that for the relationship. I think it's great. And obviously very disappointed that he did not come out and save them in the main event. But we may now be getting a third guy for the family,
an actual family,
which will be good.
You'd have Big Ange, which is definitely still her name. Mm-hmm. You'd have Luca. You'd have Stacks and Tony.
And what do you have if you do that?
Okay. A family.
You have 3 guys and a girl.
You do have 3 guys and a girl. Call them up to SmackDown.
Call them to SmackDown. Join the 3 guys and a girl division. Right now they have a 3 guys and a girl division. It's a perfect thing. You just need 3 guys and a girl, and all of a sudden you're in the division.
And all the matches take place in a pizza place. Was very excited that our precious Luca was there and that they interacted. I too loved that Tony D was like, we've never actually interacted on screen, and therefore we have not met, so I don't know your name. Kind of reminded me how when Elmo tweeted out, like, how is everybody? And everybody just dumped all of their everything on Elmo. This was like a lot of like word vomit, and Tony D being like, who are you? Which was great. I loved it so much. He absolutely belongs in this stable. It's egregious it's taken this long. I actually thought this was going to play into the main event as well, and that it might reverse the booking, but it did not. So an interesting, I don't know how they're going to book themselves out of that. I don't know if they'll care to, but very, very, very fun and also necessary. Like, you need an expansion of this for sure, because a family that's just like 2 siblings.
Well, the other thing that they said was like JC said to Big Ange, hey, I put in a little extra, so maybe you could talk to the Don, tell him to give a little look to my boys and chase you, see if they could get a title match, and that doesn't matter by the end of the night. So I'm wondering how this plays in. If like, okay, no, you're in Hawk to the Mob, you got to help us get our titles back, and then we'll give you a title shot. Maybe there's something there. It is this is all kind of weird to me that they could finally do the thing that they teased months ago with their interaction between Chase U and the Mob. Jam Beard says, I mean, that's how loan sharks kind of work. You borrow money to pay off a debt that you pay the loan off later with interest. Yeah. But if you borrowed money from them, just use that money to pay back the debt. I guess the idea is that you don't have enough money to finance the calendars, but you make enough money from selling the calendars that you make a profit. So you can pay back the debt, but also use the profit to pay off the government.
Starting to sound like the underpants gnomes, Alex. It's like step 1 calendar, step 3 profit.
Right.
But you know what? I would never play so fast and loose with my money if I was a gambling gal. I would make educated decisions with guidance from a sports book betting line that opened up earlier than everybody else. And I wouldn't even have to go far to check that out, Alex. I would simply go online.
You would?
No, I would just bet online, really.
What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful, here to tell you about BetOnline AG. The highest credit card acceptance industry-wide, 25-plus year track record, safe and secure online environments, payouts in minutes, the fastest in the industry. You can bet big with their high limits and rebet functionality, the earliest line, so odds open before the competition, the industry's best bonuses on every qualifying deposit, and we're talking on everything. Wrestling, they got it. MMA, they got it. Boxing, they got it. But hey, you know what? I know we're Fightful. We don't just live for that. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, racing, esports, anything you can think of. Not only that, this is exclusively where Fightful gets our lines from. If you hear us talking about lines on a prediction show or on our post shows, it is always from BetOnline AG. Please bet responsibly and only bet what you can. BetOnline.ag.
That's where I would bet. And I bet this video will get more views if you leave a thumbs up on it. So please do that. We already talked about FightfulSelect.com a lot. But I'm going to ask you to go to FightfulSelect.com and subscribe there too, because you get all the scoops in the game. You get Sean's Q&A. And most importantly, the most important information that you can get on FightfulSelect.com, it's not about anybody's contract, okay? No. It's not about TV rights. It's about banana-flavored candy flavoring and it being more accurately paired with bananas of yore that have gone extinct, called the Cavendish banana?
No, that's the current banana. The old banana.
Oh wait, these were big mics.
The old bananas were called impossibly Big Mike. That was the name of the. Listen, it's a long story, but I tell all of it last night on the show. So,
and where can they get that show, Alex?
Yeah.
FightfulSelect.com, where we will be celebrating episode 500. Well, Alex will be separating 500. I'm like 250, 300-ish, but that's not the point. The point is, episode 500 of Sour Grapes. We're going to have a party on Saturday. It will have no format. It will be wildly chaotic. And there isn't wrestling on Saturday because Collision's not on. So we're just going to be probably doing weird voices and singing songs. So come hang out with us where we have fun.
Jake Neal says, Sopranos parody entrance or we riot. Don't disrespect the pizza parlor. Once you get the Luca Crucifino in there, then you can full on get the family going. Poor Big Ange, though. She lost her match versus Jada Parker. She fought well. She did the come on and hit me thing until she got hit and then knocked out. So
yeah,
she went out like a champ. Because I have no idea how they do things here. I don't know.
Like if they run this back?
Yeah. I don't know if this is the end of OTM versus them or just like a chapter in the middle. Like, I just don't know how this works.
I mean, it kind of feels like if they had the tag titles. If they had the tag titles, it would have made more sense if Out the Mud got the win as a trio that was not for that to win a title shot against them. Women's match was fun. Jada Parker, very charismatic, very fun, very good. Big Ange, when she did the hit me and then got hit, it was like that the haters said I couldn't do it and the haters were right. Good call by the haters thing. But she's Big Ange. She'll bounce back, and if she doesn't, somebody else will bounce back for her. You know what I'm saying? But this was fun. Both of these two are like the kind of come on strong as they're very new to their respective factions, but they're really present in them. It's not it's not three guys and a girl as much as it is a girl and three guys. So I like that, and I appreciate that they have been featured in that way as such. But Big Inch forever. I don't know who Adriana is, but call Rizzo.
I just realized we didn't talk about this. I don't even know if that was in there. But the crowd at NXT, we need to they're just it is what used to be the old Raw After Mania crowd, but it's every week. It's a much smaller version of it, but
it's ROH crowds used to be like this. It drives me nuts.
They're the same crowd every week. It's the same crowd. It's what they do on Tuesday nights. You actually see they all sit in the same spot. The guys that you can see in the hard cam are always the same guys. They sit in their spot. It's become this very it's our thing. This is our show. We control the show. So they're very proud of the little chants they've created, and they will do the chants whether or not it is
requested that they stop by the producers, evidently last week.
So I saw somebody, a social media manager for another website, say, "Wow, this crowd sure does love Jada Parker. They love chanting. They created a chant for Jada Parker. It's the same 300-ish people every week. Let's not just decide that Jada Parker is over with everybody who watches the TV show, because the same 300 people like chanting for her when they see her. This is the problem with when you don't take it on the road. You don't know.
You don't have a fair barometer.
What the overall barometer of who is over and who isn't is.
Which is also, I think, an issue with Von Wagner, where Trick is extremely over. When Trick goes to the main roster, he is recognizable and over there. Yep. I don't know if Von Wagner went up. I think they'd be like, "Hey, there's that guy that stood next to Sami Zayn for a minute."
And we have somebody in our own chat who says they don't go on the NXT tapings anymore because the crowd sucks, the way that they're clicky and stuff. So
Ring of Honor crowds used to be like that because it was about the same size and it was the same thing where they were taped every week and they wanted to be a part of the show rather than be cheering for the show.
Yeah.
I see Sean in the background.
Is he gonna come on, or we're just hanging out, or I mean, no, yeah.
No, I'm uploading the videos as requested.
Oh, right now? I asked Sean.
I have no idea what this is.
Nobody tells Sean. I simply asked Sean to upload the fancy Bet Online video that is produced with all the footage to our profile so that we could play the fancy one for our wonderful viewers who watch this show. Mm-hmm. I didn't mean you needed to do it immediately.
Lucky you got 4 of them now.
well, thank you. I would also I would love like $100,000 right now if you wanted to.
Yeah, no. Okay, so
we invoiced this week, so I'm sure we'll take care of it then.
Yeah. So anyway,
Sean and the cat.
The same people who bought a fake sorority calendar, so that is true. It's the same one.
That is fair.
Okay.
I don't think that was Oliver Luis. Oliver's, I think, is gray.
Yeah.
I don't want Sean's cat to be more over than us. No. Please.
No.
The cat is fine. It's a cute cat. Whatever.
They're just gonna anger the cat people in the chat. So
good. Bring it on. I'm allergic.
I'm just trying to get to the next thing that happened on the show, Kate. Lola Vice defeated Tatum Paxley with Lyra Valkyria coming down and cheering her on at ringside, and then immediately afterwards saying she's not my friend. She literally willed her to try and kick out of stuff and later says she's not my friend. I don't know, I thought when Tatum Paxley literally saved her from having her title taken from her at Vengeance Day, this will be the beginning of her being nice to her, trying to figure out what's going on, all this stuff. But she is willing her to victory, that even though she still loses, but then immediately saying she's not my friend. which is just a weird thing to do here. But Lola Vice looked good. Her kicks look very crisp, and she squeezed the life out of Tatum Paxley with her thighs. So I'm sure that's a thing that's going to catch on the internet.
Yeah. Okay, first of all, I am offended by you trying to keep the show on track like that's something that we do here. I'm trying to get along to the next segment. Okay. Yeah, because that's what we do on Sour Grabs.
There's a lot of stuff left to talk about, and we're already an hour in. That's all I got to say.
That's every week. Second of all,
we haven't even done the puns yet. This is going to take a long time.
I'm fun. We're fun. We have fun. Match was good. Lola Vice is like great. Like she's her offense is extremely crisp and hard hitting for such a character heavy show, and for the way that she was kind of presented as the heel she presented, being kind of like an absolute badass in ring is a fun grounding aspect to her that I didn't know was necessarily going to be there, but she's hard hitting, man. I really like her. Very much kicking ass. I don't know what our dear potato is doing. I love our Tater Paxley. She's a big part of my heart and our lives. But this is weird because the relationship is muddy. It's going to be one that is kind of a long burn, I think. I wasn't expecting like a ton of clarity on it today, but they didn't make any clarity on it today, which makes it weirder. Maybe she doesn't want to be associated with her, but then realizes that she's actually helpful. But there needs to be like an honest conversation between the two at some point really soon. So hopefully that's where we end up going. But the match was really good, and Lola Vice continues to be a really impressive breakout star in this division. We haven't seen Kalani Jordan in a while, I feel like. Have we?
No, we saw her today. She's got a match next week.
She has a match next week. Okay.
We'll talk about that in a bit. But I wonder, and I like Elektra Lopez, I really do. But I wonder if they may have the wrong girl with those particular three guys on the main roster. By the time that Lola Vice is ready to be called up, I feel like she fits really well with the Santos thing, with the evil Latinos, not the good Latinos. She fits better there because that's you have good. You have LWO bright side and LWO dark side. And so the Sith of the LWO Sith,
black
and the LWO
lipstick.
Jedi. Right.
Black lipstick LWO is heel.
Yeah, so
LWO.
she fits really well there, and we've already established that she and Elektra hate each other. So maybe they can bury the hatchet, and they can be three guys and two girls. Maybe we'll get that. But when she gets called up, maybe they call her up and pair her with Andrade on Raw.
That could be fun. I don't hate that idea. She also might just be like a badass singles wrestler. Like she might not need to be a part of three guys and
but very, very true. However, I am looking at the history of how they book certain people and certain other not people.
Look,
and
the three guys in a gal division is thriving right now. There's a lot happening.
Full of three guys and a girls.
It really is.
Yeah.
I kind of like Elektra Lopez in the role that she's in, though, because I don't know if it's necessarily going to be ring heavy, and Lola Vice should be in the ring a lot. Where I like Elektra Lopez just being like, I'm drop dead gorgeous and a badass and going to knock you out. Right. And then maybe her and Zelina have a couple single matches or whatever, but I feel like she's mostly going to be an enforcer, interferer type that is just drop dead gorgeous and badass in presence.
LWO Light Bright, I think is that's good.
You'd be like, here's 9 million little pegs for very little payoff by the end of it.
I remember Andrade with Zelina in NXT, but she would just do the same jump off the apron, Hurricane Rana to the guys that facing Andrade. Imagine that, but instead it's Lola Vice, and she does a spinning back heel kick to all the guys that Andrade is facing. Like, she straight up knocks dudes out. I mean, it's a possibility. I'm just saying it feels less likely that they would call her up as a singles person, just simply because of how they book specific ethnicities. That's all I will say. So,
well, we don't know how The Rock books that. I don't know who's booking anything anymore, but
that's true. That's true.
I'm excited for her though.
She's Gunther at Mania, and that's, I guess, we don't have no idea what the hell's going on with Gunther, but that could be a thing that they might do.
I don't know if they do.
You can also sign me up for that as well.
Yes, not mad about it.
Now here's the thing, Kate. You do realize that our chat is basically the NXT house show audience? They've gone into business for themselves and changed the pun category to cats.
You can do that, but you have to pay for it.
Right.
NXT tickets are free.
Yeah. So anyway,
send us your money.
After Tatum Paxley is choked unconscious by Lola Vice's thighs.
Correct.
Lyra Valkyria picks her up and carries her to the back like it's Richard Gere and Deborah Winger at the end of Officer and a Gentleman.
I was thinking more Carrie Struggs and
could be
when she like
sure
sprained her ankle.
Whatever your cultural touchstone is, it's that's what it was. And she lays her lovingly across a roadbox in the back, and up walks a Shotzi Blackheart, and she's like, "Hey." And Lyra's like, "Oh, hey, Shotzi, welcome back." Like, as though, I don't know, it's just weird. Shotzi shouldn't be here unless she's actually having the match with you. This is sad considering where it went, but she does. It is important for whatever they do to write this out of happening next week, and also for the Roxanne story. So we'll talk about it here. Hey, let's not, instead of going back and forth on social media, let's actually make this match. And Lyra's like, "Yeah, cool, let's do it next week." And Shotzi's like, "Fantastic." And then she's, "Take care of your friend." "She's not my friend." And then as soon as Shotzi's out of earshot, Tatum wakes up and says, "Hey, so we're facing Shotzi next week?" This is the thing about them doing angles when they don't need to, in ways that don't make as much sense as other times. Let's say they run an angle next week where Shotzi is attacked and like her leg is Pillmanized or something. They don't show it. They show people running up to her. She's laying on the ground. And she says, I didn't see who it was. There are two immediate suspects. Roxanne, who wants that title match, and Tatum, who does everything to make sure that Lyra, like, you actually have the real scenario that they wanted when Trick got taken out. There was only one possible suspect back then. Now there are two very likely suspects. And I guarantee you it's a possibility they run that angle next week, right after running the Trick angle. So it'll be a much better version of it, but it'll look like a cheap knockoff of the prior thing. That's just how they do things, man. It's just, it is.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
So Roxanne comes into the locker room, yelling about how unfair it is that Shotzi gets a one-on-one title match. She earned hers. And then Lola cashed in during it, so she never really got the one-on-one match she earned by winning that Battle Royal thing. So but I don't get one, but Shotzi just waltzes in here and gets one. And Maddie Renkowski, Ren Sinclair, says, "I know how you feel. Do you? Do you? No, because you just got here." And I'm like, oh man, they're fully doing this with Roxanne. The most natural friggin' baby face that this company has seen since early days Bailey, and they're doing this with her. Like, it just hurts my heart. So like Maddie's like,
Just
yeah, but
call her up to
but
be
she just
Bailey's
slaps
third.
her right in the face. And everyone's like, oh my God, Roxanne, what'd you do that? And then she goes to Ava to like ask Ava for a title match. But Ren Sinclair, like, why did you slap Ren? Just whatever. Let's talk about my title match. No, let's talk about you slapping Ren, because you can't do that. So this is now Luis's conspiracy brain saying this, not me, but Luis's conspiracy brain saying this.
Go on.
Ava, Dwayne's daughter, scolds Roxanne, CM Punk's protege, for randomly punching someone in the face backstage. Considering what happened last week's press conference, this seems intentional. There is no whatever in HR, whatever her name was, I forget.
There is no Carol in HR.
There you go.
We get to make that reference a lot. I like it because I like It's Always Sunny. I firmly back Luis's conspiracy theory because it's fun to back harmless wrestling conspiracy theories. So I'm in on that. Just keep Roxanne in face and call her up to the main roster to be the third in this damage control thing.
No. Sorry, Kate. They're
Nobody
not doing
from
it.
NXT can get called up. But Alex, we are so dead on with when we think people are going to get called up. We're extremely accurate. I don't want this to be the one that messes with our pristine track record. A year ago, thought Braun Breaker was getting called up. Just keep her face. She's so easy to root for, and she's fun, and she has this innocence about her. Just lean into the face thing. That is not the reason that she wasn't thriving in NXT. It was the dog-esque booking.
She is going to beat the holy living crap out of Ren Sinclair next week to further cement the heel turn. Like, after the bell, she's going to like destroy her.
Okay, but what color is her gear and lipstick?
I mean, it'll be more. You'll be more of that. Oh, he's back again.
Hi, Sean.
Back again. We're gonna have an update on Shotzi from Corey Brennan on the free tier of Fightful Select. She sustained an injury at the tapings tonight, the double tapings. So that will be on our free tier of FightfulSelect.com shortly. Corey also every week has a ton of NXT news there. Well, not next week because they ain't going to be there next week.
No.
But one of the reasons they are taping is because a lot of the key production people have to be over in Perth. Most importantly, I've got a great scoop from WWE Monday Night Raw. About 3 seats away from me, this very intoxicated woman was basically giving a full-on lapper to her boyfriend. I found this disturbing. They were in the presence of children. However, that did not prevent me from getting photographic evidence of such. There you go. This is front row of WWE Monday Night Raw. That is a child in the background. Now, throughout this show, this woman who, again, at least was polite. I'll say that much. She was certainly polite to him.
Yeah.
Kept saying, Chelsea is my friend. Chelsea is my friend. At one point, looked over to Samantha Irvin and said, do you know Chelsea? And Samantha's like, well, a little bit. I sent this to Chelsea Green and she said, OMG, what? Who is she? What the actual fuck? I have never seen these two in my whole life, Sean.
Little scoopski.
There's your scoop. Also, I sat in front of Ricochet's parents, which was very nice. Let me tell you,
they weren't the hater that was heckling you, were they?
No, they're very proud of Samantha Irvin. Like it was very sweet how proud they were of her. But listen, where else are you going to get lap dance scoops like that? Like where else?
Probably some gentlemen's clubs, to be honest.
Like, not only that, I verified that Chelsea had no clue who this woman was.
No,
else?
it's a hot scoop. I'm really glad that you came in and shared it. That's what you're getting for free, okay? That's not even behind the paywall. So if you are getting lap dance scoops from people that claim to know Chelsea Green for free here on the main, imagine what's behind the paywall.
Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but I swore at the beginning, and me and multiple people in our area discussed it, that she said, "Is Hogan gonna be here tonight?" That was a thing that we were discussing. Was that said? All due respect to her, bless her heart if she thought so. But
I don't know why Kiera Hogan would be showing up at Monday Night Raw. She's on
never know.
AEW talent. But Sean, more importantly, the cat was very over, and we didn't know which cat it was. Luis thought it was Oliver. But it was Oliver. Okay, my bad. It was hard to tell because it's dark in your cave right now.
He was definitely a runt of the litter, whatever litter he came from. But he would be my crony. Like, he would follow me around and laugh at my jokes and be like, "Good one, boss." Stuff like that, for sure.
We ain't getting that here, so I'm glad.
Which is unfortunate because I don't find anybody funny but me. Like, I truly think that I'm the only funny person that exists. So it's a good thing that I got somebody there to help shore up my insecurities.
Sure. Sean, did you want to ask me about my cool hoodie while we're in this 3-person view?
Your cool hoodie?
Yeah, my Eminem hoodie.
Oh,
Amazing Man Store hoodie.
Masse and Mansois, who I did not get to interview in Tampa, but will be hopefully in Indianapolis for Squared Circle Expo.
That rules. So does my hoodie. You should support them and get it. But I guess I love more wrestling.
Shill.
Oh, I'm a shill. I'm super a shill. It's not for Tony Khan or for WWE, but I'm a shill.
You're just hanging out, chillaxing.
That's right.
You.
All
That's
cool. Where's Oliver right now?
He's downstairs. The cats aren't usually allowed up here, but he snuck up here because I had to.
Okay.
I thought that I needed to upload these ads imminently. Thought it was like an emergency. Like we were going to miss out on this lucrative deal that I landed us that I worked for 6 months to get because you were going to miss a date.
No. I would have said, my text message would have said urgent.
No. Here's the thing. She sent it now because if she waits until after the show, she will forget about it. Because
Thank you.
That's Kate.
Thank you.
Shout out to Bet Online. Their 1, 2, and 3 odds in the Royal Rumble were accurate, and their 1 and 3 in the women's were right on the money as well.
Wow.
But betonline.ag. I'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Great sponsor. The chat mostly cares about the cat in this particular moment. I'm sorry that we got Sean back to tell you stuff that we already promoted outside of the lap dance scoop. I'm sorry that we didn't get Oliver back in touch.
Carmelo Hayes defeated Joe Gacy, who is crazy. Remember how last week Joe Gacy booped Dijak on the nose with an empty boxing glove on the end of a stick? Today on the show, we saw Dijak in his lair, consumed with thoughts of Joe Gacy. And then at one point, because we saw the video of Joe Gacy booping him on the nose, and Dijak thinking about it goes, he just doesn't, he remembers being booped in the nose. And then he unzips his little duffel bag, zips it back up, and leaves. And I'm like, oh, he's showing up with some implement, hitting Joe Gacy with it while the ref's back is turned. Carmelo has no problem taking advantage of that, so he'll get the victory. And then to repay Joe Gacy for costing him his match versus Ilya Dragunov, Dijak will cost Joe Gacy his match versus Carmelo Hayes. But to my absolute astonishment, they actually waited until Carmelo beat Joe Gacy clean. They actually waited until they had that happen, which is great. If you're going to set up Carmelo versus Dragunov again, you're going to do that because he called out Dragunov after the match, and Dragunov responded on Twitter. If you're going to set up that match, I want it to be like, I want Carmelo to look like he's a guy who could actually get this shit done, as opposed to a guy who needs Dijak interfering just to with Gacy
with like a balloon animal, probably.
Right. Yes. He's gonna pump. He's gonna hit him on the shoulder with a balloon animal. Or no, he's gonna rub a balloon on his head and make his hair stand up.
This is very important to me, so I hope it's very important to you, chat. Dijak tweeted, "If this post gets 10,000 likes, I will hashtag throw Joe Gacy in a river." I'm gonna need everybody who watches the show to go like that tweet, because I need to see Dijak throw Joe Gacy in a river. It is at 7.6 thousand likes, and I would appreciate it if everybody did it, because I want to see it.
We need to communicate better, Kate, because I was going to have you, because I know how you follow him on Twitter and he follows you. You guys are best pals. I was going to have you bring that up after I gave the proper context, which is he can't throw Gacy in a river if Gacy is not properly restrained. So I haven't not brought up yet that after the match, he attacks him with a nightstick and then puts him in a straitjacket. A straitjacket having lots of very small buckles, which are hard to do fast. So he's doing this in the ring while the refs are going, no, please don't put this man in a straitjacket. And then he does. And then he drags him out of the arena slowly. And there's video of him literally dragging him by the feet out of the arena while Joe Gacy cackles crazily. But my question is, you employ fleets of security guards. I know. Yes. I've seen them. Why are none of them trying to stop this from happening? He is abducting a coworker on television. I feel like somebody would have stopped this. No?
That is correct. Independent wrestlers that are security guards should have absolutely stopped this. But at the same time, the slow dragging of him backstage was so great. Yeah. It was so funny. I loved it. Yes, it's true. Dijak and I are Twitter besties. It's fine. Mm-hmm. His contract is up. They should re-sign him and give him a huge pay bump and send him to the main roster. It's fine. Mm-hmm. Shilling. I genuinely believe everything I just said. The slow dragging backstage was great. The impression of you doing security guards looking like a Peanuts character was better. Like, to be honest, like, I loved how slow the drag was, and the fact that everyone backstage just wasn't there to let it happen, and the fact that
they weren't even there,
grinning like an idiot.
They weren't even there.
Well timed by Joe Gacy. Mm-hmm. Way to clear out your room and be able to execute your kidnapping crime.
Right.
You being a referee doing this, like you were a Peanuts character.
Do it. You're not allowed. I am telling you what you are doing is illegal, and I am saying no.
You were either air traffic control or a Peanuts character. It was delightful. So 11 out of 10 impression from you. Almost as fun as when you've run.
Right. Almost as fun. Hashtag throw Joel Gacy in a river.
Yes, we are here for the cause. We are here to save clams and to throw Joe Gacy into a river. Mm-hmm.
Come on, you guys, knock it off. That's my favorite refism is in this situation is knock it off.
Knock it off.
Knock it off.
In referees' defense, they're not supposed to have to restrain people.
Right.
That's a security job.
Yeah. Going back to this Lyra and Roxanne thing.
Yes.
Jambeard says Sol Ruka, when she comes back, should be the one to beat Lyra for the title. She is back working on house shows, so should be a matter of time before she is back on TV. I don't know that they'll do that. That is definitely a face versus face. I'm not sure what their plans are.
And not the type of faces that you would want facing each other either. Not everybody comes back to the same fight. Like Nikita Lyons was like the hottest thing when she went out, and she just isn't even around that much right now. Yeah. So I do think we have to see what her reception is. She was very organically over, so I feel like it won't be like she was white hot at the moment kind of thing. I think she'll come back to a happy reception. But I don't know who dethrones Lyra. I kind of want it to be Blair Davenport, but it feels like maybe we missed our boat for that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Jim Beard says, Kate, I'll do you one better for your Roxanne Bailey booking. Next year's Team Damage Qatar versus Team Bailey featuring Mela, Cora, Rox in War Games. My God, I hope not. I hope Damage Qatar is not in 3 War Games in a row.
Yeah, that would be too much.
That's too much. Like, it's just, can we be done with this by SummerSlam, please?
We can have a War Games that doesn't feature Io with a garbage can on her head. I know it feels like we need it every year because it rules, but we don't actually have to do it.
It's a requirement, honestly.
Okay, so Io's in it, but it doesn't have to be everybody else.
So there was another one of those walking things. Goodness is a man's struggle. Evil, however, is human nature. Is that a Dragon Chew reference?
I hope so. I miss Wendy Chu.
Me too. I do too. Unironically, I miss her very much. You know who I would miss so much if he went away? Oba Femi. He's the best.
Oh my God, Oba Femi.
Oh my God.
He's so great at this.
He is so great at this. He's got this little, like, he walks out to the ring like this, boom. Like, he's actually, the way he's walking, he's got a little strut to it, but it never looks like he's mocking it. Like, it is the way this man moves through life. Like, it's here. This is great. Honestly, the one part of them going into business for themselves that I don't hate is the woo after everything he says. Woo! Like, that's really cool. That's awesome. Oba Femi says, "I'm Regan Lee. You were a great champion. You're a worthy warrior, but now you're done. You're moving on. I welcome all challenges. Send anyone you want to come and try and take my title, but just don't send anyone you want back." Is the most badass thing anyone's ever said.
The coldest line ever. He has this, I don't want to there's a big man in one company. He reminds me of a big man in another company, but he has the same assassin, ice cold veins thing that Samoa Joe does, which is a very good thing to have because he doesn't have to look what a big man I am. Aren't I so big all the time? He has this effortless, I love it when we get big men that don't have to that aren't so loud and so in your face. Like there is something so commanding about a guy who can just talk down the middle volume wise and has this aura, as the kids say, at this just absolute command. It's so much more intimidating to me when you get one of those than guy yelling in your face constantly, big guy. Like the guy who is just so sure.
He's so sure of himself, man.
Oh God, this was so good. This was so good. I adored this.
He's really, really great at this. And we'll only get better at it. And I love him. And he is my Valentine.
So sweet.
He is my Valentine, and I will be sending him flowers and chocolates tomorrow. I'm so excited. It's part of why I originally loved NXT was the idea of, man, I can't wait to see where this guy goes. You know what I mean? It used to be like I'm so happy this amazing indie talent who's been working the grind for 12 years is finally getting a shot at something. Yeah. But now it's here's this guy who they plucked out of the track and field team from the University of Alabama, who is becoming my favorite big man of all time. in increments every single week. And honestly, I'm looking at him and I'm going, this dude's main eventing WrestleMania one day. Like, of all the guys who are like WrestleMania main eventer, I don't think Bron's got that in him anymore. Not the way that they're going to do stuff with him. Mello might, Trick might, Oba Femi 1,000,000%. Unless something goes horribly wrong, that is a dude who will be at the mountaintop, and you will build a guy for a year to finally win the Royal Rumble and slay the monster at the top of that mountain. And that monster will be Oba Femi. That is classic wrestling booking. It's perfect. And this is the kind of guy who requires a dude to try and do it 2, 3, 4 times before he finally gets it done. That is the aura of this guy that he is already like. I'm of course projecting out, but like if you look at what he's doing right now, considering the amount of improvement that we expect from people who are this early in their careers and already at this level, who knows where this guy's going to be when he's prime WWE age, i.e. 13 years from now.
Well, hopefully we get out of that. But this did make me very, very happy because it was also not like he's not so cartoonishly heelish either. Like he beat Dragon Lee and then he gave this promo, which sits like pretty in the middle, which I really liked because I was nervous of like, I guess because Dragon Lee's such a face that I was like, oh no, are we going to like do that? But this promo was just like ice cold veins, kind of could be booked either way, not cartoonishly one direction or the other, which is what we get so much of in NXT that bothers me. So I really, really liked this. And I think the next challenger up is a perfect person for him to kind of, they've made him feel important in the way that they've told us that he's important, not through wins and losses, which is not my favorite thing. But it also means that like Oba Femi can chew this guy up and spit him out, but it'll still mean something to them in their world, which I think is good. Like, I think that's a good direction to have this go.
Prime WWE age is 38. That's the age of Roman Reigns. It's the age of a couple other guys who are actually just 38. Seth, I think, is 38. Like that's when you've reached the pinnacle.
Cody
is
Cody 38?
Cody's 38. Yeah. So
they were all like between 36 and 38.
This Lexus King thing, like I don't mind it because you need a guy for him to beat up, and he also has a very good reason for it.
Yes.
Like I had a match with Dragon Lee, and then you cashed in, so I basically made you the champ. So I think you owe me this. And he's like, okay, fine. Yeah, you'll get your match next week. You'll get your match next week, and this is what I think to me is like, I don't know what they have planned for next week, but you can easily move everything around in editing and make this the main event. Oba Femi in the main event, like just murking a dude is and you can easily book the match where he's like, I do not pin you. I will keep inflicting harm upon you because you had the nerve to come out and say you were the king, whatever your name is. This is not one throne you'll be sitting on anytime soon. Like, oh my God, he's just so good.
He's great.
Yeah. So Seth is 37. He'll be 38 very soon. There you go. So Double Vest is backstage talking to Dion Lennox and Jay Malachi, who is now Javon Evans, who had his first level up match, was highly praised. Watch out for that guy. He's only 20. He's amazing. If you've seen his stuff on the Indies, if you haven't, you'll be seeing his stuff on TV and NXT very soon. He's great, and it's a big deal that they've decided, oh, he's hanging out with named characters we've seen before and like has lines where he's like, they're like, but here's the lines though. The problem is like, boy, that big game on Sunday sure was great, wasn't it? Yes, I also enjoyed the big game sporting event. And it was like, come on. It's very ChatGPT scripted.
This is just not how people talk, which is something we run into a lot on the show.
What What a brutal match it will be in the main event tonight. Who do you have? Well, I believe the Wolf Dogs will be victorious. How can you say that? Do not disrespect the family. And it is very funny that was the setup for then Beej walking in and going like, "You asked me where my balls were. They're right here." And somewhere in the middle, you have Double Vest go, "Took you all week to come up with that." And then they fight. And then they brawl. You're right when you say they became friends by brawling together in a bar.
Yes.
It's only right that they actually have a match against each other and brawl. We already saw them though while they were still friends have a match against each other. And it was
but that was years ago.
No, it was not years ago. It was less than a year ago. And remember it was like where they decided all the tag teams, Hank and Tank fought each other to prove how good of friends they were. And then Idris Enofe and Malik Blade did it. And also Beej and Double Vest did it. It was like a thing they did with all the mid-card tag teams. But it's cool, but they could have done it without like doing it really ridiculously, which is what they did here.
Yes. Yeah, no, this was kind of geeky. He was really mean to him last week, so he should be pissed.
Mm-hmm.
But
it is very odd though that Beej also let it simmer for 7 full days before doing anything about it.
They should be like hotheads. Like he should say something mean that's not dramatic, and then he should be pissed off about it.
In the first hour of one episode, you have the scene from last week. And in the second hour of the same episode, you have the scene from this week.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's been stewing in him for 45 minutes and he can't take it anymore. He's got to do something.
Sure.
As opposed to a full week going by.
I need like a Vic Joseph. Beej, Double Vest, next.
That would be the greatest thing that has ever happened to this podcast.
It really would.
So that'll be next week. So Brinley Reece is training with Carmen and Kalani, and then Lash and Jakara talk trash to them. And this is not actually set up on the show, but the match that comes out of this will be Kalani versus Last Legend next week. They've taped that. So, and Kiana James and Brinley Reece have a match, and Brinley Reece hits in some really good offense, and then loses to 3 moves.
Yeah,
it is because they try and pack in so many matches into 2 hours, which honestly, good for them for doing that. A lot of the matches are 4 minutes and 45 seconds, where the babyface shine lasts for three minutes, and then the heel hits 3 moves and wins. And it is just a thing that we watch a lot, but these people are developmental, and I get it. But the part I liked about this is I think we're actually doing the over positivity gimmick in a good way now.
She's really settled into it.
Yeah.
She's really settled into it.
So Idris Enofe and Malik Blade are backstage. It's obvious that Malik Blade has the hots for Brinley Reece. I don't know if they're going to do anything about that. But it's so bad that she lost to Kiana James. That's too bad. I feel so bad for her. And then Brinley Reece literally cartwheels in from Gorilla, still working out the jaw and being like, "Wow, that was great. I feel amazing." They say that the best teachers experience, and now I have some more experience. I can't wait to get beat up again. And they're like, "What's going on?" So
they're like, "You're excited about that?" Mm-hmm. She did really well with us, and they kind of clicked in. I'm having some fun with it. She was fiddling with her jaw a lot. Like, I'm concerned about TMJ with her, but it was actually a pretty fun little segment.
Yeah. Before we get to the main event, let's do some puns. Okay.
I actually have to run to the... No, I want to stick around for puns. I'll run to the bathroom in a minute. Go ahead. The puns are so good.
Well, I don't want you to laugh too much that you pee your pants. Tom Lavelli says, "My birthday is Thursday. Walter Millen."
Very nice. Very nice.
Chris Pereira says, "And happy birthday to you, Tom Lavelli."
Happy birthday, Tom Lavelli. Yes.
Super Mango Punch.
Very nice.
Jambeard says, Pretty Peppers Avocado.
I don't get it.
Pretty
Oh, my pretty
Peppers.
Peter.
There you go. And Joe Garlic.
Joe Garlic is great.
Chris Perez says that when a banana goes bad, it's called a pedal turn.
Touche.
Meet Norma says CM Plum. Colt Cabana.
Cold banana.
Colt Cabana. Yeah.
Boom, boom. Cold
Big
banana.
Big Papa Pulp.
Very nice.
And Appledon.
Nice.
Taylor Cannon says Coconut Mango Punk.
Very nice.
Pieces says the mighty don't peel.
Okay, that one has layers. Because in a promo a few weeks ago, Shane Haste ate an orange with the peel on.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nyla Rose did so on ROH like the next week. Peel your oranges, people. Okay, I have to pee so bad. I'll be right back.
Jambeard says of Brinley Reece, so she's a masochist? Don't shame her, Alex. I'm not shaming her. I actually think that this is a very good way of using the over positivity gimmick. I think it works well for her. I think she's performing it very well. I am excited about it. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. It's me, it's Scripps. You don't know which one it is. Oh, wait, you do, because you can see the little thing going. It's Scripps, and it's also Scripps. Hello, me. How are you doing? What are you thinking about tonight's episode of NXT? Oh, well, actually, I think that I'm a big fan of wolves and also dogs. I have a couple of dogs that look like wolves. They're huskies. So now I'm a big fan of the wolf dogs. Congratulations to the wolf dogs. I've never been a fan of the mafia, so I'm glad that Tony D'Angelo has lost. But it looks like he's getting a new lawyer in Luca Crucifino, so that's good. I don't know what happened to the imposter me, the scripts. Is he out there with the OTM? I'm not really sure. What's going on? Yeah. Hey, are you here? Am I talking to myself? Can you hear me? Other me? This is kind of one of those weird like things where neither one of us is it me? Is it both of us? I'm seeing double here. 4 scriptses, right? No. All right. I'm gonna read some puns. Jambeard says Berry Funk and Pretty Peach Avalon. Jambeard says Fig Strong Boy. That's right. That's Tyler Bate. Tyler Date is big, strong, Fig Strong Boy. Chris Pereira says Racing Cara, which is very good. Bonkers, I wish I knew. I don't know where Wendy Chu is. I wondered if she fell asleep somewhere and they can't find her. One time I went asleep for 32 hours. I was very tired. I had been awake for 7 days in a row, but I fell asleep for 32 hours and I woke up. Maybe they can't find her. Who knows? Andrew Dekoff says Kazukini Okada, which is more of a vegetable than a fruit, but it's a pretty good one. I like that one a lot. I'm going to hold that one and tell that one to Kate when she comes back. Luis Polito says Yam Yam Bigelow, which again is more of a vegetable than it is a fruit, but it's all right. Jambeard says House of Blackberries, and FTR, which of course stands for Fear the Raspberries. That's very good. I like that one a lot. MD Cyclo says Prince Banana. That's Prince Banana. But it's also the way he said it though. It was Prince Banana Runts, which we gotta save that one for when Kate comes back. How far away is your bathroom? Actually, it feels weird. It feels like it's a long time from long way for her to go. We're saving the Prince Banana runs for her. Tom LaValle says Jungle Boysenberry and Jack Berry. Chris Pereira says Honey Drew McIntyre. All right, this is getting even boring for me. I'm leaving. Now it's me on the other side. You don't even know where I'm going. You have no idea. I could be here. I could be there. You don't know. You don't know where I am. I could be on this side. I could be on the other side. You don't know. You don't know which one is me.
Honestly, I was back for like a couple minutes, but I just needed to see that unfold.
All right.
So, sorry, Daphne went a little nuts.
Andrew Dikoff says Kazukini Okada.
That's not technically a fruit, right?
No, it's not.
Oh, that's
it's
okay.
Not. MD Cyclo says Prince Banana runs. And he says, sorry, Kate.
You know what's upsetting is like you just didn't need to put the runts at the end. Like you made an active choice. So don't come in here with like a, oh, sorry, Kate.
Yep.
You didn't have to do that.
Chris Pereira says Honey Drew McIntyre.
That's pretty good.
Mr. Showtime says we all know CM Punk is Coconut Melon Punk.
Someone said that already too, so that's just confirmation.
Meat Norma says Dragon Fruit Lee, Alistair Blackberry, Peel Dunn.
Very good. All very good.
Greg Cherry says Cantaloupe. And he says also I have the perfect name. Greg Cherry is also a pun.
Touche.
Chris Pereira says Kevin Mangosteen. Jambeard says the baddest woman on the planet. Bronda Rutabaga. Mr. Showtime says durian instead of kurgan. It's a really smelly fruit. Well, I'll take your word for it, Mr. Showtime.
I believe you.
The Lieutenant Colonel Photo says boom boom Colt Cabanana. Jambeard says Techno Tubers 2000. Chris Perez says Fig Bronson Reed. Honestly, that should be Fig Fronson Reed.
Of course.
Fig Fronson.
That's really, really good.
Jambeard says Serena Beat versus Thea Kale.
Very
you guys
nice.
are slipping in too many vegetables here. I'm sorry. Those do not count.
It's true. This was supposed to be fruit. You've been disqualified.
Chris Pereira says Dalton Castle and the Boysenberry.
Boysenberry.
Mr. Showtime says Kiwi Stark. Zoe, not Ricky. It fits her better. Oh, okay. Jambeard says Fig Josh. And who comes in, of course, carrying 2 berries.
Oh, of course. Of course.
C. Delgada says the Grape Muta.
Grape Muta's really good.
Meat Norma says Diana Perazzo.
Very nice.
Tomato Champa.
Technically a fruit, so we'll take it.
Orange Julius Cassidy Creed. That's 2 with the
That's a double.
Dem Boysenberries. Which, and of course,
Boysenberries.
Mark Briscoe practices red duck kung fruit.
Obviously, yes, of course.
Seth freaking raisins. Lieutenant Colonel Photo, the golden delicious lovers hit a
Seth
pineapple
freaking
buster.
raisins is so good because I just see the little Mr. Raisins logo guy, but like in Seth's gimmick. Like, man.
Lieutenant Colonel Photo says the golden delicious lovers hit a spineapple buster.
Jambeard
says, blame Luis. He said vegetables count tonight. And he said, all I did was say yam yam Bigelow, Luis says. So, I mean, I don't know who to blame here. Electric Mayhem says Clementineless Tony Storm.
Wow. That's excellent.
Boston Crab Apple.
Very nice.
Jambeard says Kazuchika Okrada.
That's really good.
Mr. Showtime
I don't know.
says...
Wait, is okra? No, okra's a vegetable.
No. Oh, it's a vegetable. Mr. Showtime says Tomato Paxley. Tomato is a fruit. It is.
Tomato is a fruit.
Tomato Paxley absolutely does count. Louisville says Dalton Castle and the Boysenberry, which we got already. Thank you.
Very good, though.
Dalton Castle's friend Ricardo says the American dragon fruit. Lieutenant Colonel Photo says Roderick Nectarine Strong.
Very good. Keeping the cause alive.
says Penta El Cerro Marionberry. Daddy Meowgic Magic Mango Mustard. Now, see, now we're into the cats.
I should have gone to the bathroom during the cat puns.
Jake Neal says Hairball Mike Bailey. we haven't done cat puns yet. Lieutenant Colonel Photo says,
it.
I know. Lieutenant Colonel Photo says Brock Lesnar, the Fancy Feast incarnate.
Fair, but I just can't with Brock right now.
Jake Neal says Sean Ross Cat. Jake Neal says he's a Cats man. Billy Cats and the Cats boys. Those things.
I like to brush them, like to ignore them, because they ignore me and hurt my feelings. I'm a cat man. Wow.
Electric Mayhem says Pineapple Ford.
Pineapple Ford. I'm in. I miss her. Where's she been?
Yeah. Becky Lychee. Guavani Vinci.
You could also do Sammy Guavan. I know how to say things.
Jake Neal says Meow Sewer.
Oh, love Meow Sewer.
And Jake Neal says Runter Hearst Helmsley.
It's a sore subject, but it's a good.
He didn't say banana Runter Hearst Helmsley.
No, but runts are also not fruits; they are candies.
It's true.
I have to call out a couple in the chat that were really good. That were not.
Mm-hmm.
Chiquita Alliance is really good.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
As is our own Alice says Papaya Shango.
Papaya Shango was very good. I also clipped one. This was one. I found this one, which was the first one I saw it. I like that it was Prince Ba. Nah. I like that they put 3 things separately. I thought that was very good.
I like it because there wasn't an unnecessary and superfluous runts at the end.
Mm-hmm. And this one was also
good job to you.
Jordan Grapes.
That one's so simple. I love that one.
Okay, so we have new tag team champions.
We do have new tag team champions, Alex.
Backstage.
It's not us.
Backstage, they do a little thing. Bron seems like he doesn't have his head in the game, and Baron has to get him into the game. And he says, "Hey, Nick Aldis called. He's doubling your offer for SmackDown." And Bron's like, "Really? No! Get your mind off away from all that stuff, and just let's focus on getting these tag team titles." And I was like, "This is why they lose, because Bron is rightly considering these important offers." But then he's like, "I won't say the name Wolf Dogs unless we win this match." And I was like, "They're winning the match."
Yeah. Of course. Of course that tipped it.
And the match is excellent. Tony D'Angelo and Bron never had a match against each other in this all of this stuff. Like they may have done tag stuff.
God, yeah.
But like when Bron was champ, they never did a Tony D. Like not even
Tony
like
was injured for so much
for part of it.
Yeah.
But like they were doing other stuff. It was him and Santos for so much of it. But it was like when Bron was on top, they never did a Tony D. And like those guys are made to face each other.
Yeah, they were they had really good chemistry.
Bron is all velocity. And Tony D is all about using your velocity against you.
Yeah.
Like the spine buster off the top rope.
Oh my God, what's so good.
That was great. He throws people. Like he doesn't suplex people. he throws people for distance. Like I'm really a fan of what Tony D does with his offense. This was a really, really excellent match between these two teams. And I guess I would have to, I mean, I'm assuming so many times though they do have the wrong people get pinned or the wrong person make the pin, but I could have sworn that neither Bron nor Stacks was legal at the time. But Bron hit Stacks with a spear, and Tony couldn't get in to break up the pinfall because he was dealing with Corbin on the outside. And it was a very, very good match.
It really was.
And Bron and Baron are tag champs. And if you were not currently running a which brand on the main roster will Braun Breaker signed with, I would be 100% okay with this. But because you are currently running a what brand will Braun sign with on the main roster angle, I am 0% okay with this. That is how much bad creative can ruin my enjoyment of who you book to win shit.
Not even just bad creative, preemptive bad creative, because that's how often it's predictable. Because you get preemptively angry and you're right probably 87% of the time. The only way out of this I see is that Braun signs. This is what I would do with Braun Breaker. But that doesn't even work because you'd have to have him pretty much vacate. No. Okay, I got it. Once again, a fan of my own booking. Braun signs with Raw, but they make it clear that he's not coming up until after Mania. And then you have Braun and Baron lose the tag titles at Stand and Deliver. And you just have like a friendly, it's your time to go up moment. This has been a fun tag run, whatever. And then the day after WrestleMania, Gunther open challenge on Raw. Braun answers. I don't care if he wins or not. But I feel like that's probably the best way out of it, is just like they came together as an oddball couple, so I don't think you have to have a dramatic breakup. Like they can just split after dropping the tag titles after Stand and Deliver. That gives you a nice little 2-month run of something that was never supposed to be a thing anyway. But I do, and they just call it out, and the Ryan Ciccini just called it out in the chat. Like, I think the Lesnar stuff really screwed this up. Now, there's no excuse not to pivot with creative justification for things, right? Like, we've seen a lot of pivoting without creative justification that I would like to see get justified, i.e., why the hell did Cody just decide to give us Royal Rumble shot to someone else? But I don't think if you're going to do all this teasing stuff, they were doing that with Jade Cargill, and then she just disappeared, and then she came back at Royal Rumble, right? Like, that's annoying. Have him choose a brand, but have him say, I have a responsibility in NXT at the moment. So before I come up here, I'm going to defend my titles in NXT. And you don't really need him for the road to WrestleMania. But I think him challenging Gunther as an open title thing would be good.
I think him challenging him for an open title shot would be fine. But they can easily they could start him versus Gunther on the road to WrestleMania on Monday.
Sure, if he didn't have the albatross of the tag titles around his neck. Yeah.
Right. That's the problem. Because you could actually build a real program, Braun Breaker, again, and it could easily be brought up and you could show footage of it. The last man to pin Gunther's shoulders to the mat was Braun Breaker in NXT. Have him bring that up. Like, you easily could have Gunther pin Jey Uso in that thing to end that, and then have Braun, Gunther come back, whatever, Wall Gunther come backstage, and Adam Pearce is signing Braun to the contract to go, Adam, I believe you know Braun Breaker. He's like, yeah, he does. He knows me. he also knows I'm the last guy to pin him. Aren't I, big guy? And immediately have Gunther dismiss him as out of hand. That was a long time ago, whatever. And have Bron like chasing this thing because that's a major deal. Whoever can pin the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time is a huge deal. So listen, obviously for me, the thing goes Big E somehow coming back and beating Gunther is number one.
Yes, that's possible.
Sheamus coming back
Also, that's possible.
Would be number two. Gable is number three, and Braun is number four. And honestly, I don't have a number five. I don't. That's it.
You don't need one. It could just be
the four guys.
I probably say that same thing, except I flip Braun and Chad Gable just because I just am a sucker for like the extremely dominant open challenge.
Chad Gable swore on his daughter he was going to be the one to beat Gunther.
I know, but then they did nothing, and now I'm bored.
Well, no, but because they did that, I want them to pick it back up and do something with it.
Oh yeah,
Gable wins a 4-pack or whatever. I don't care what they do to get him back into the thing. He's already proven he can hang with Gunther. It's a perfect storyline of the little American Olympian versus the giant foreign heel.
Being goofy anymore then. Like I the back and forth with the I'm goofy, I'm serious.
Right.
Like drives me crazy. Dragunov's my number 5, not yours.
Dragunov is off the board for me.
Yeah.
That is a guy who if he beats him for it, I will be angry. It is that you have an opportunity to make anybody else. You already made Dragunov by beating Walter before. There's doing the same thing again with a different title on a different brand is the laziest shit I can think of. Do something else.
No,
there are so many more things to do.
It's not doesn't compare to the rest, but I don't mind that as like a number 5 because I like the idea that Dragunov could always have his number, and there's a lot of people that was years ago now. Like there's a lot of people that weren't paying attention, and that was before Walter Gunther was the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. So I like this guy just has his number story, but there are options that I would prefer beforehand.
I love Dragunov. And
I know you do, and I understand why you don't like it, but I just do.
I hate that as creative. I think it is so friggin' lazy because they're going to play the exact same beats leading up to the match. It's going to be paint by numbers, the exact same shit they ran before. If I had faith in them and actually telling a different story this time, fine. But I don't because they suck at this. If they were good at it, it'd be fine. But they don't. They suck. They suck. As evidenced by the fact that they have tag team titles on a guy in NXT who is currently being recruited by both fucking SmackDown and Raw. They suck at this.
Well, we'll wait.
Jambeard says, do you think they might bring Baron up with Braun and have them be a main roster tag team first before the
Thought about that too.
They should. They should do that.
And I wouldn't even hate that if Braun said, I tried to get advice from Triple H last week and I couldn't because I got interrupted and whatever. He was like, I'm not coming up unless Baron Corbin can come with me. Is like is a cool thing for him to do. Like we're tag team champions. We're a big deal. We're both coming up.
He goes into a meeting with Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis. Okay, you called us both together. What is it? All right. I am prepared to sign with either one of you, but it's got to be the guy who says this guy is getting signed too. And then it's Baron Corbin who walks in. And they can be wearing the tag team title. They can defend the titles and lose them. And then on Tuesdays, but they have to be on the main roster together. Whatever. Luis says maybe they drop the belts on Roadblock.
That's such a lame run then, though.
Yeah, yes it is. Chase U is lingering around. They have a number 1 contenders match with Nathan Frazier and Axiom.
Yes.
Now that we know which team is the new champions, because we hadn't seen Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus the family, but we have seen them versus Bron, and Baron. So we're definitely getting Chase U winning that number one contenders match next week. And yeah, the idea that all of this was just a placeholder to do some dumb story with a gambling addiction to get back to Chase U having the tag titles, where you could have just not done any of this and kept the tag titles on them, feels like the most NXT booking bullshit possible. So yeah, they're definitely going to do that.
Or like you could have just done a clean story with the gambling thing.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm just going to assume this is a new person.
No, they've been around. But
I thought so.
I believe it is a joke.
Foolish.
It's
called Sour Graps.
Jambeard says, talking about Lola's new submission move. Lola's thigh squeeze versus Nikita's butt pin versus Rhea's pins. The wrestling Twitter will be going wild.
Well, there you go. There's your next tag champions, Rhea and Lola Vice. Just the Thirst Squad.
Taylor Cannon says Sour Graps is the best part of Fightful Select IMO, and it is the best reason I spend my main reason I spend my $5 every month.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate
Jake Neal says Kate has to go through the NXT parking lot to get to her bathroom and back.
That's what. Okay, real talk. I desperately needed water because I was sweating for no reason and thought I was going to pass out. Not gonna lie.
That's not good. Not good.
It was not good.
No.
But I feel better now, and that's why I came back, and that's why I no longer have a sweatshirt on.
That's good. That's good. Feeling Dreepy says, I'm starting to hate how almost all women in NXT are booked like the gossipy best friends side characters in a rom-com. That is a lot of them.
It is a lot of them, but I will say that's also like the men are not booked much better, so it doesn't feel to me like a slight at the women's division.
It's true.
But it annoys me on both fronts. Jake, you don't have to feel bad. I was faving everybody because I didn't know if I was going to be able to come back, and I was going to message Alex, but I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm good.
Good. All cats act like they have 205 lives. 205 lives instead of 9 lives.
That's very good.
That's good, right?
That is very good.
Jambeard had a Blue Chew segue, but I guess we're not doing Blue Chew tonight.
Oh no, we only have Bet Online tonight.
No, Kate uses ZSJ and TMDK matches like Blue Chew, but if that don't work for you, then Blue Chew code Fightful.
Well, no, I don't get boners, but but they're some of my favorite matches.
Yeah, there you go. Andrew Dekoff says Seedless Tony Storm and Mariah Mango.
Mariah Mango's really fun too.
And Luis Polito has now my favorite of the night.
Oh my gosh! From the inside.
Mango McMichael.
That's really good.
That's really, really good. It's good. Although, just like with those weird, you cannot be an employee of the company to win the sweepstakes. You can't enter and win it. Sorry, Luis.
Sorry, it's in the sweepstakes rules.
It's in the bylaws. It's in the bylaws. Okay. David Evans says, hi again, Alex and Kate. He is the guy who introduced us to hold on. He's the guy who introduced us last night to
creepy ass Kingsley.
To Kingsley.
Who is this? I mean, I know who it is because we just said his name. But so he says, what is this?
David Evans says, I'm glad you liked Kingsley, so I have another one for you. My team, West Bromwich, the W is silent, West Science Albion, are sponsored by a heating company who have their own mascot that is usually present at our home games named Boiler Man.
So to clarify, the heating company doesn't have the one that's the sun, which is notoriously very hot.
No, this is no, they're rivals. The sun mascot and the boiler mascot are rivals. Which one can heat your home better? I don't know. Honestly, I'm not sure.
Well, for starters, I'm just intimidated by Kingsley the Sun. That is terrifying. Boiler Man looks kind of like a fax machine or something. Like, I'm not scared
Yeah.
of him.
Yeah, I thought it
I
was like a
appreciate-
fancy fridge, but yeah.
Yeah, it kind of looks, or like almost R2D2 but square. Like it's a. My gosh.
Yeah.
Bill Alphabet. Now, why would you say this? He says, "FYI, I don't look up Mr. Balls. I don't want to because I don't want to see what the other search results are, but I have to know now."
No, I'm not. Nope, I'm not doing that. I will not be doing that.
Well, come on, your delicate little flower co-host is gonna have to do it.
Thank you, David Evans.
Thank you, David Evans. That provided me a lot of laughter last night and today.
If you listen, you could look up Mr. Balls and send it to me, and no matter what it is, it will be the second most offensive thing that you have sent me in the DMs this week. Okay, you know what the first one is. You don't.
I do. I don't know. We sent a lot of DMs to each other.
You should, Joe's.
You sent me the meanest things that you possibly could. Wait, what was the most offensive thing I said?
You sent me Hulk Hogan making out and grunting.
Oh my god, I was so mad.
That was nearly the end of our friendship.
I forgot about that. Tape Machines did a whole thread.
Kitty R says it reminds us to use Matthew Hook's ad read because of the Uncle Hooks.
Well, I don't think he's here anymore, so I didn't want to do it when he's not here.
Okay, well, so we'll give him a free one the next time he's here.
Yeah.
Okay, we now the jukebox. Jambeard has one for you. It's not a singing one, but it's just one. He wants you to say a certain thing.
Don't waste your time on me. You're already the voice inside my head.
Very good.
Pop punk. That's what every pop. I'm trying to forget that I'm addicted to you. They all sound the same.
Mm-hmm.
Worst.
Yep. Feeling dreepy. Matthew Hooks is here. LOL.
Oh, okay.
Around waiting on this baby. Well, then you
now,
could.
We're also 17 minutes over already, so we'll do it. We'll do it next week.
Sean showed up twice. Like this is his fault.
Yeah, we can blame him. Whatever.
All right. Feeling Dreepy wants Darby to sing "That's Life" by Frank Sinatra. All right. Okay. Let's see here. All right, here we go. That's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But I know I'm going to change that tune when I'm back on top in June. I said that's life. And as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on a dream. But don't let it get me down, because this fine old world, it keeps spinning around. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn, and a king, Malachi Black. I've been up and down and over and out, and I know one thing, Brody King. Each time I find myself flat on my face, I pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life. That's life. Buddy Matthews. Mr. Bandana Head says, thank goodness for the SGS. No more. Once we start singing, there's no more. Tama Valley, you're sneaking this one in because it's your birthday on Thursday. I'll allow it. But no more.
Yeah, we're way over on time.
You were like, why do you want to keep going? Why do you want to move the show along, Alex? And I was like, because I am envisioning this exact thing happening. And you're like, let's slow it down and be
I
wacky
didn't
and fun.
envision I would need like a quick absence because I thought I was going to pass out or Sean showing up twice. It felt very anti-us to be like, let's get back on track. And I didn't like it.
Meet Norma saying Penta El Zero Marionberry. I believe we already got that one, but thank you very much, Meet Normus. Tama Valley has one for I I will sing. I will do mine first. Mr. Bandana Head says, "Thank goodness for the SGS and all they do for my mental health." Can we have Braun Strowman explain the plot to the Lord of the Rings?
They have these three little guys. They live in the Shire. One of them is named Frodo. He's got a friend who's a wizard, and this wizard's name is Gandalf. And they have a ring, and they gotta take it somewhere, forget where. And but it'll be really dangerous because all these orcs are gonna come and kill them. So they go to the elves, and the elves say, "Well, we got to create a fellowship." And the fellowship is like two dudes with swords, and then a pretty boy with long blonde hair, and he's good at shooting bow and arrows. And then there's a short guy, not like the other short guys. This one's got a beard, and he's got an axe. And so I think that's everybody. And then they all go out, and then one of the two dudes gets killed. And then they keep going, and they stuck into some castle. There's a huge army of orcs, and they got to fight those guys. And eventually, just make a long story short, there's this guy named Gollum, and he wants the rings. He's chasing these two little dudes all the way to top the Mount Doom in Mordor. With Mount Doom sounds like what I should call my finishing move. But anyway, they go to Mount Doom, and then one of them throws the ring into the lava. That's Lord of the Rings.
Thank you.
That was great, but I was waiting for to get these hands.
Get these hands. The hands are, of course, where you wear rings. Lord of the Rings.
That story is so long, it feels like he's not finished with it.
So, Lord of the Rings, of course, is very long.
So that's 10 hours worth of movies summed up in about 2 minutes.
Well, if anything, the show is very short.
It's incredibly short. Kate, Tom LaValle wants you to sing Apple Shampoo by Blink-182 as Tiffany Stratton.
She didn't mean to deceive you, believe me. But sometimes the hardest part is conceiving. The good intentions that you had now only came to this. And although she saw the mark, the arrow missed. It isn't exciting reciting the stories of kind words turned hurting when routine gets boring. Both getting tired of punk rock clubs, both getting tired of punk rock bands. The start was something good, but some good things must end. And she said, I could never survive with such differing lives. One home, one out on tour again. We may never come back. The strike of the match, the candles burning at both ends. And now she knows too much, and I'm too effed up. It's awkward trying to pretend to make my move. I'll try and pretend that I'm fine, show up at the right time, but I know that I'll never be cool. Toodles.
So Tom LaValle wants Ricky Rainbow to sing the Rainbow Collection.
I love that.
Hello. Happy Valentine's Day.
How we doing, Ricky?
Good. So I don't know if you know this, but I was once going to be in a Muppet movie.
I did not know
You know,
that.
the one
I don't know
where
much
they go
about
to
you.
London.
You're a mystery.
The Great Muppet Caper. But then they found me blacked out on heroin in my trailer, and I didn't get to film my scenes.
Oh no! I'm sorry that
And they were like,
happened. Did you get to meet any of the Muppets?
Well, yeah, I was doing heroin with Fozzie.
Of course you were.
Why
Waka
are
waka.
there so many songs about rainbows, and what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it. The rainbow connection. Lovers, dreamers, and me. This is a scurrilous lie from Jambeard. Ricky, did you know Nigel eats clam chowder? He would never. My Nige would never. Jambeard says we need to get back to 3.5 hour reviews again.
Now I believe Sean would fire us on the spot.
Not fire you. You're just a freelancer here.
Yeah. So Jambian also says Ricky Rainbow to sing the Reading Rainbow theme song. Right. Here we go. Ads. There we are. Butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high. On heroin. Take a look. He's in a book. A reading rainbow. I can go anywhere. Friends to know and ways to grow. A reading rainbow. I can be anything. Take a look. He's in a book. A reading rainbow. Reading rainbow. Oh. Thank you.
Voice of an angel.
Thank
You
you.
do. You have the voice of an angel.
That's it. It's over. So we're
Voice
done
and
now.
hair of an angel. Ricky, outside of you,
I thought
everything kind of sucks.
that's right. Keep cool, gabagoos.
Toodles.
Happy Valentine's Day, loves.